morning, rise and shine to the morning momentum, your daily dose of a comprehensive rundown of the top stories making the headlines today being 28th of January 2024. This is a daily compendium of local and international news, human interest stories, current affairs, and expert opinion. My name is Alfonsoh. I use the hashtag The Morning Momentum at Younib Media TV at Alfonsoh Albakwekwe. Be part of the conversation we are having this morning. Send in your sentiments via our SMS line 0719144144. Let's take a look at the top stories on the papers this morning. And we're going to start here with the Daily Nation. On the front page, it's all about a race against time. Now, has been mounting on the government to expedite reconstitution of IEBC ahead of 2027 polls. Now, the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission could be fully constituted within the next 3 months following the of a 9-member selection panel to recruit commissioners, and the absence of commissioners over the past 2 years pushed the country into a constitutional breach as key functions such as the conduct of by-elections and review of electoral boundaries missed the legal deadlines. That story is beefed up for you on the Daily Nation this morning. Let's take a quick look at the elephant in the room on the Standard. On the front page, it is bare-knuckled. Now, former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, in a scathing attack on President William Ruto, has claimed he presides over corruption and that a new coalition will be crafted to ensure he is a one-term president. That story is beefed up for you on page 6. On page 7 this morning, delay ailing economy. That story is beefed up for you there. Also, Central Kenya fears return of Mungiki gang is beefed up for you on page 3 of the Daily Nation this morning. Now, with me at our backyard this morning, I have 2 panelists with whom we are going to discuss the subject matter on the Daily Nation this morning, race against time. This is all about the IEBC selection panel that was sworn in yesterday, and 7 of the 9 members were already sworn in. We all saw what happened, so allow me to introduce them. On my right, we have Hussein, right? Ramathan, sorry, Ramathan on my right. And then on my left, we have Stephen Oluoch. Good morning, men.
Good morning, Alfonsoh.
Thank you so much for making time. Now, let's start our conversation with the IEBC selection panel, which we saw happening yesterday after 2 years without IEBC commissioners. Some resigned and some, their term have expired. What are your thoughts on the composition of this new IEBC selection panel? We start with you.
Thank you so much, Alphonse. With the past 2 years, there has been a lot of speculation. The commission was not appointed is because there was a case at the court presented by the Honorable Kalonzo Musyoka. I think the case was withdrawn, and that's why the president now got time to appoint the new commission. For me, my opinion is that that was a good move, given that...
I think it is good. The selection panel is there.
When doing the selection of IEBC commissioners?
To the commission, because you can see, Mr. Alphonse, in the previous years, after elections, we have petitions in courts to petition the outcome of the results of the elections. So for me, I think we should take this thing as a thing of the past, so that we have commissioners who have that integrity, who can have the trust of the people to serve at that particular commission. That is what I think is very instrumental when they are selecting the panels of the IEBC commissioners.
At the moment, as we speak, there is a gentleman by the name Augustus Muli, who has already challenged the appointment of Koki Muli at the courts. And this raises eyebrows about trust and integrity of the members selected. What do you make of that?
Well, I think if there is evidence of how maybe Kokimuli is not aligning or is not abiding by the Chapter 3 of the Constitution, then I think that matter should be taken to court so that we can have the transparency on whatever the Kokimuli has a problem, or it is just a rumors or some speculation from Augustus Muli, who is raising those concerns.
Thank you. Steve, yesterday CJ Martha Koome said that the future of democracy of Kenya depends on how we conduct our elections, right? Now, how do this selection panel balance public trust and political interests in regards to the sentiments of the CJ yesterday?
The comments of CJ, I can say that in Kenya, even the judiciary is playing politics. We know what that is the president and the cabinet. When it is a matter of advising, then they advise on what's supposed to be done. So to me, it is not a surprise. I know when the time comes, or maybe a Kenyan like me, if I will present any case to judiciary that maybe the commissioner violated maybe part or section of constitution, they will go back to what we are used to. So that one, it was just a comment, if I can say, because it was, okay, let me say it was a PR.
Are there any political interest concerns on the selection panel that we already have?
To me, if I see, I cannot say that there is political concerns. What I know as at now, I've not seen any conflict of interest. What I know is that the people who are selected, these are Kenyans, and I think they are qualified to do the job. What they should just do is to do that job that they've been given by Kenyans.
How do this panel address concerns by the public about, impartiality and credibility based on the previous history that we've had? That for you to be appointed, it has to be somebody who is already known in the public. We rarely see fresh blood. It is always somebody we know who the public has an interest about. How do this panel address these questions of impartiality and credibility?
Well, I think even Alfonsoh, if you have realized that when the selection was yesterday by the president, from that team, there was the personal advisor of the president, that is Mr. Oluoch, who was amongst the panel that was selected by the president or appointed by the president. There was concern that how comes that a person who is from State House now again is appointed to the panel. This brought some kind of concern amongst the those opposing the government and even the citizens at large, because it brings a question of favor maybe from the president's team that we need somebody from our side to be part of the team. And now that raises the question of credibility and impartiality from the citizen to the president who appointed the panelists that is going to be selecting the IEBC commissioners. So, because maybe that panel will come up with a team that for them they believe it is going to favor the results, because that has been the perception from the history of our elections. So I think we still the members of the public still have questions on the selected panel, given that Oluoch is still in that particular panel.
Speaking of what you have just said, what should be the key focus of the new IEBC team, to restore and maintain the dignity of electoral process in the country?
I think the corruption history from the selected panel, if maybe there's a member of that team, they must declare their wealth, because you see there's that question of how is it that somebody is employed in government, and maybe we see some lavish lifestyle from these people who are serving the government. So I think members of the public today are very much concerned about the integrity of whoever is serving in the government or in the public space.
Does declaration of wealth really count because they have never been verified? They just state and then it ends there.
Now that is now the other problem, because even some times back, I had the question, I asked myself a question which I didn't get any answer. We saw yesterday, was it yesterday or the other day, that the EACC official have arrested the DCI for corruption. Now my question now, going to arrest the EACC official who are corrupt. So we still have some question of integrity from both who are investigating and from who are being investigated. So that is something that we must look up to and how we can achieve it as a country.
All right, Steve, do you believe that this new panel can address the plague, that have affected electoral process in the country?
Mr. Alphonse, because of that time constraint that we have in this country, what we need to see right now is IEBC commissioner in place. Whether Ruto decides to take his brother and put in that selection committee, as Kenyans, we will not care. What we want is that selection committee to work. They should be funded so that they put that IEBC commission in place so that we can move forward as Kenyans. That is the most important thing right now.
So you don't care about who is going to be on the commission of the IEBC?
No, right now, if we go into that, someone again will use that opportunity to derail the process. So right now, what they've done, we are okay with it. Let them just hit the road and work. What we are waiting for is how they are going to do that, the selection of IEBC commission. That is the process we are going to wait and see how they are going to conduct.
How do you think this is going to affect, the upcoming now selection of the commissioners?
What I believe is, what you garbage in, you garbage out. So, in as far as if you don't put the people who will look for the right people to lead that commission, actually, you can predict and foresee the outcome. But what we are saying right now as Kenyans, due to time constraint, let us not concentrate now on what is being garbaged in. Let us give them that benefit of doubt and see the process, how they are going to conduct, the process of now selecting or appointing the people who are going to take charge of election.
But Mr. Steve, you just said garbage in, garbage out, right? So it means if we do the wrong input, then the output might be wrong as well.
Yes.
I don't know if you getting what you say. So if then you are saying that what we are garbaging in should not be a point of concern, we need to say when we get a wrong outcome.
Alphonse, remember, someone went to court. This thing ought to have been done like 2 years ago. Someone went to court because of just this one person that is mentioned, the lady Kokimuli. The case was withdrawn, and people still...
From the history events, that democracy is hypocrisy. Democracy is that whatever it is being preached is not what is being served. Now the hypocrisy part of it is exposed that way. But given that we are following the Constitution, and the Constitution, as you know, is that these are a set of laws that governs our country, we have to live within the laws. Its mandate as an electoral board to serve Kenyans. Alphonse, as I've told you earlier when we begin this conversation, is that number one, 2 years, Banisa constituency does not have a member of parliament. Banisa is from Northeastern, a marginalized community. Now tell me.
Your feedback as we continue with this show. Now, I want us to move quick fast to, let's stay there on the political landscape a little bit, and talk about coalition shopping with Rigathi Gachagua met during the opening of DAPK offices right here in Nairobi. So, It's all about with this shopping coalition that we are seeing right now.
Alfonso, I want to tell you that whatever you saw yesterday, the coalition of Rigathi Gachagua, Jean Wamalwa, Kalonzo, I think these are just people of interest because with them, we have seen them for the past 30 years. Somebody like Kalonzo has served in the position of minister and the vice president during the coalition government of His Excellency Right Honorable Raila Odinga and Mwai Kibaki. So the political coalition that they came up with yesterday was just a sign that we are still alive, we still have interests, and we are opposing who? William Ruto. We are not here to serve the interest of Kenyans. Because remember very well, Alphonse, His Excellency, the former Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, was once a very, he was opposing the coalition that Kalonzo had with Raila, even with Eugene, even with Martha Karua. Then, what then happened for him to change his mind to see that Kalonzo and Martha Karua and Eugene are good people to work with to transform this country? Then, with that particular view, you will realize that what he is doing right now, or what they are doing right now, is just to gang up against William Ruto to take government and take advantage of the failures that William Ruto has experienced within this short period of time, so that they can tell Kenyans, now, this is what we can fix. But it is my belief that if at all they had good interest, they will have shown the leadership when they were in the position of power. Remember, Rigathi Gachagua was against the issue of maandamano, right?
Yes.
He was very against of that. Why is it, or what changed then for him now to support the Gen Z to go in the streets to protest against the government? So these are just interests and these are just politics. There is no one who is really concerned about the development of the young people. And I think now the young people of this country should just take the horn by its bull and to bring leadership as we want. So the coalition, for me, they don't make sense.
Steve, in a bid to try and solve this puzzle of what is happening around the political landscape and the coalition shopping, there is something that remains preeminent. These are political figures that we have seen around for ages. So how will this new alliance, quote unquote, that they claim to be forming, plan to differentiate their intentions from the current political entities in the country?
Alphonse, my brother is right. In politics, there are only two constants. That is interest and betrayal. And right now, they are coalescing because of their interest, just as he has put it. And I'm telling you, see, holding meetings, and these meetings have impact in this government. Until it forced President William Ruto to respond to him, that can tell you the magnitude of impact DDG is creating. And if you ask me, this Rigiji is going, and I'm telling you, you saw how angry our president was when he was in Western, calling Rigathi corrupt, tribal, and Rigathi responded very calmly that when it comes to corruption, president does not have need to lecture people about corruption, because he knows the corruption that is going on in government. So it is something he knows very well. So he's going to fight William Ruto with facts. And you can see, he even quoted the international poll ranking Ruto number 2 in terms of corruption. And he's saying that this person was just rigged. He could have named number 1. So this is person that, if not managed very well, is going to do political destruction to President William Ruto. And I'm confident that he can make William Ruto be first-term president. Though Yeah, I don't support Rigathi Gachagua.
Mm-hmm.
I know when they were with William Ruto, when William Ruto was opposing Uhuru Kenyatta, the same sympathy the Mount Kenya is giving Rigathi right now is the same sympathy William Ruto was given. And given the power, Rigathi Gachagua can be worse than what William Ruto is right now.
Okay. In regards to what Steve has just mentioned, President Ruto responded and said the time for politics is not yet here. And that when that time for politics comes, then he will show them the way. That preempts that the president definitely has a solid plan for 2027. What then do these people who are seeking to form new coalitions should focus on to make sure that in their bid to make President Ruto one-term president, they become successful?
Well, Alphonse, I want to say that the previous election, the history of Kenyan elections, as we all know, has been tribal politics. So, Rigiji is doing politics that William Ruto is interested in. When he say that Mount Kenya, he brings in the factor of Mount Kenya, usiguze mlima, and all that. What he's telling William Ruto is that you remain with your Mount Kenya. Just tell people how Mount Kenya is better and why is that Mount Kenya is suffering from this government. And let me go out there and tell other Kenyans or other tribes or other regions that you see, this is how these people are. This is how these people are. They want more seats. Will be a silent, answer to them that I've given them 9 cabinet secretaries with the deputy president. They have still said that we have not done justice to Murima. Because what Rigiji is, I know what my brother Ocheng has said is very true. That Rigiji is actually giving William Ruto sleepless nights when it comes to political issues. But again, now President William Ruto has gained new tricks on how to deal with Rigiji. He'll come and incite other regions against Mount Kenya. Right now, I've seen the trips he has made to the Western. And that is the concern of Rigathi Gachagua. What did he say yesterday? He said, you see how he's coming to Western. This is how he used to come to Mount Kenya. This is how he convinced us. And we loved him and we trusted him. Now he has shifted to where? To Western Province. He's just doing the same tricks he did to us. So don't listen to him. Because if Western will listen to William Ruto, Nyanza listen to William Ruto, Rift Valley will listen to William Ruto, and Coast, and Northeastern, let's say for instance, Mount Kenya will remain alone. And maybe the way we've said, he's uniting with Kalonzo. I am confident the only person who can pull masses in Western Province is not even Musalia, is not even Wetangula, is not even Wamalo. Maybe Natembea. But again, Western people will just follow Raila Odinga's direction. And what if now, because there's that speculation that if Raila go and get the AUC seat, then that is it. I have partial confidence that 50% of the votes from Nyanza province will go to William Ruto. Same will happen to Western. Same will happen to Coast and Northeastern.
What makes you think so?
I think so because that is the history of our election in this country. The only thing that can change the narrative that Kalonzo and Rigiji are running is to come with a nationalist way of politics by including especially the youth. You know, right now people are saying, oh, the youth don't have, the Gen Z don't have leaders. It's true. Gen Z don't have leaders. But I want to assure you, we've seen Ndindi Nyoro is quiet. Babu Owino is quiet. Babu Owino has not taken the direction of Raila Odinga. Sifuna has not done so. Ndindi Nyoro has not followed the president. And you've seen almost 70% of members of parliament going to Kiharu for benchmarking. This now tells you that Ndindi has positioned himself at a very strategic point whereby people are observing him as a true leader. And even Gen Z are following him up closely to understand his ways because he has delivered. What if Ndindi Nyoro today get the support of Mount Kenya and maybe Babu Owino comes in and they say we want to vie? Maybe as president or deputy president, the two duos, they combine for that. And now they get the support of Rigiji, Kalonzo Musyoka, Eugene Wamalwa, Natembeya. I want to tell you that Gen Z will have gotten a leader. Mount Kenya will know where now they take their votes to Ndindi Nyoro. Let's say the 4 million votes as they claim. We Gen Z, people are saying we don't have votes. But let me tell you, right now, every young people of this country is politically aware on which direction this country should take. And the way you've seen that votes, who they claim don't have votes, but they are politically aware on which direction this country should go. So, but if they use the same old tricks of regional politics, I want to tell you that William Ruto will still be the president to 2032.
All right, let's sample a few feedback that you are sending here to us via our SMS line 0719144144. Stephen Olo says, this is a step towards credible elections if the process remains transparent, right? Julian Kwamboka says, I hope the new IEBC team prioritizes public interest over political allegations. Thank you so much, Julian. Now, there is also somebody here by the name Cedric Tiang who says, I doubt this panel will be any different from previous ones. We need real reform. Okay. Now, political interference will still be a problem regardless of who is selected. That is Kevin Makowino. There is also Lorraine says, why don't they involve more citizens in the selection process? All right, this is all about the conversation we had a while ago on the IEBC selection panel. Now, let's move on. Steve, given the recent impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, what role remains for him to play? We know at the moment he's not fit to vie for any public office unless the courts decide otherwise. So what role remains for him to play in the political scene in as much as he is so vocal at the moment?
What I know regarding, but before I answer that question, let me to comment on what he said about regional politics. My friend, I'm telling you, come 2027, the political dynamics is going to be very different from previous ones. Reason being, now we have the Gen Zs in the picture, and what Gen Z are going to do, or what Gen Z is telling us, is that those is something which is very backward. And if President Ruto can think of doing, I think is going to do injustice to himself. Setting the 41 against 1, I think that is a very tragic. We saw what that thing did to us in 2007, and we cannot afford to go back to that isolation politics. Let our politics be based on ideology. And I think that is the ideology all of us Kenyans are fighting for right now. We are not going to look at tribal line that this person is going to vote this way, this person is going to vote this way. Let us look for the person who can deliver so that we move this country forward. To that question you've asked, the role of Rigathi Gachagua right now. I know Rigathi Gachagua right now, he knows he has nothing to lose. He might vie, he might not vie, based on the outcome of what court will decide. And he knows the reason why he started from the lowest court there, he want to buy time, so that by the time election is there, this issue is still going to be in court. And you can't bar him from vying when the issue is in court. So the probability of him vying is 50%. We can't rule that he cannot vie. But the main thing right now is to disorganize William Ruto. That is the role he's doing right now.
Okay. How do you think this coalition is going to influence other key political figures like Musalia Mudavadi and people like Raila Odinga who are now working together? Remember, Kalonzo was part of Azimio la Umoja, Martha Karua was part of Azimio la Umoja. Looks like the crack is getting wider day by day. What do you think this is going to, the impact this is going to have on these key political figures like Raila and Mudavadi?
Well, Alphonse, on that note, let me just highlight something. On my personal view, I want to say that, first of all, the issue of tribal politics, I think for me, is something that should be a thing of the past. Because even myself, where I'm seated, I'm a benefit of my education, come from a person who is not my tribe. I was educated by somebody who does not even know my parents, you see. He's a political figure, I see. So when it comes to issue that we vote based on whose, maybe which tribe this person is coming from, we young people, we are saying that we need nationalists, a person who have that national thought or reasoning. When it comes to this crack you're talking about, the impact is going to have, the coalition, the impact is going to have to Raila Odinga and Musalia Mudavadi, given that they're key political figures, I want to say that Raila Odinga, Martha Karua, Musalia Mudavadi, all these people you are seeing there, these friends. Oh, I want to believe that they are discussing these things at night on how they are going to play politics tomorrow with the developments you are having today. Because you can remember, Alphonse, 2017, it was publicly that Kalonzo, Musalia, Moses Wetangula betrayed Raila Odinga during that particular day he was swearing himself. They didn't show up, right? Now, after that incident, Raila went and shook hands with Uhuru Kenyatta without informing the other officials. But again, after some times, we are still seeing them camping, regrouping into coalition. We saw Musalia then going to support Ruto. We saw Wetangula going to support Ruto. Martha Karua, who was opposing Raila Odinga in 2013, now again he was who? Was going to support who? Raila Odinga. We saw Martha Karua being the running mate of Raila Odinga in 2022 general election. Kalonzo Musyoka, 2 months before election, he had declared himself as a candidate, a presidential candidate. Whatever we are saying right now, Alphonse, is that these are just politics. These regroupings and all these issues that we are seeing revolving around, these are politics. What my brother Ocheng has said, the politics of this country has changed, and it has changed from the young people. I've just mentioned earlier, I'm a benefit from Mr. Guyo. Guyo was a former MCA here, and now the governor of Isiolo. He educated me, paid my school fees to the university, as a person who is not from my tribe, right? For example, he's not from my tribe, I don't know him, he doesn't know my parents. Now, if today I'm told to go and vote for him, I'll vote for him because of the ideology, the way Ocheng has said. He's somebody who saw potential in me, but he saw that I don't have that particular muscle, financial muscle to support my education. What we want in 2027 general election, we'll be going for leaders who have ideology. Whether Raila will be in cold or he will in a position of power, maybe AUC, maybe if Ruto will be good or bad, we will choose leaders who have ideology that will make this country progress. We don't want leaders because they come to a certain region or they have been doing this for some people or for us. Justice for all of us. That is what we need. We need delivery, service delivery for everyone, so that everyone will feel that actually we are part and parcel of this country.
Okay, Steve, let's talk about the opposition landscape at the moment. This coalition shopping that is happening all around, where does it put Azimio coalition? as the opposition that we currently are aware of, which many people are saying is, it's dead.
Me, I don't believe Azimio coalition is dead. I know what happened is that NAC Kenya pulled out. The rest have not declared that they've pulled out of Azimio coalition. So me, my thinking is that the coalition is still intact. What I know is that right now politicians are testing water. Not that this is what is going to happen in 2027. You might find Eugene Wamalwa, Kalonzo Musyoka, na Rigiji going in different ways come 2027. Right now, what they are trying to do is just to test water. It's called political. They are trying to see how public is going to react and what they are doing. But I'm telling you, 2 years is still a long time, and anything can still happen in politics. And I can opine in this show that come 2027, the people you saw there as the how did they call themselves? Let me call them the party leaders. They might not find themselves in the same coalition come 2027.
All right, let's take a quick conversation on something here about upholding the rule of law before we wrap up the show. This is on the IG boss, Douglas Kanja, who yesterday again skipped appearing in court after obtaining orders from the court, to skip that court appearance. And we saw the LSK president together with other judicial officials summoning him to produce the two missing folks from Kitengela who were abducted in December. Where does this put us as a public in regards to how the rule of law is observed when it comes to high-ranking officials?
Alphonse, this is very unfortunate. You find that law enforcing officers, they are the people who are violating the same law that they should encourage people to follow. They were ordered to appear in court personally and produce the missing people. Even if they produce those people, assume they produce those people, they ought to have appeared in court to show that gesture that they obey court orders. This one they are proving to us, Kenyan Sama Wananchi, that they do not do what they are preaching. Police officer is a person who should be disciplined, who should act by example, by doing what independent body is telling them. And they are the first people to disobey what is required of them. And I think that one is very unfortunate and is really sending a very bad picture to Wananchi.
Ramathan, what precedent of accountability does this send to the public about, accountability among public servants?
Come on again.
I'm asking you, what precedents does this set to the public about how public servants are treated when it comes to upholding the rule of law?
Well, I think given that what my friend Ocheng has said, we saw the IG himself when he was asked to appear in court. Even the former CS, no, not the former CS, the current CS Interior, we saw him sending his lawyer. It's called Omar, Dunstan Omar. And you saw what he did in court until the judge asked him to step out of the court. What the public will now perceive on those particular characters from those who are now said to be maintaining law and order is hypocrisy, because we expect them to maintain law and order, but again we see them violating what they should supposed to uphold. So the entire members of the public will feel unfair from the police officers. For example, let's say you've seen the incident. There was a video trending online the other day here in Roysambu. Is it Roysambu or Kawa West? Kawa West. A police officer came to arrest a man because maybe he violated the law or he broke the law. But the members of public refused. They say, no, you are harassing this guy. That's the same lesson these people have taken from what the police officers have been doing. So for me, I believe what the Inspector General of Police and other members of the police force should do is to lead by the example. If at all there is this question of concern on the whereabouts of those people who were abducted in Kitengela, I think the police is questionable to give the answers to the members of the public in court on what they are doing to investigate the matter, where the matter is at Peninah, what's the status of the matter, what are their findings, so that we can actually say that they are accountable of the acts that are being happening across the country. Right now, we've seen the MCA in Garissa who was abducted. It's now 4 months. There is no report of whether the guy is alive or dead. No one knows about it. The IG has not, the police force has not given any report. So the issue of accountability now remains in questions to the public on how the police force is accountable to their work.
Steve, it's not the first time this is happening. The acting IG of police before Douglas Kanja skipped more than 7 court orders. Now this is also happening again. What long-term implications does this show to us? If public officials continue to skip court orders, what do we learn from that? And then what are the potential, implications of this on the public? Because from what you are saying, police went to arrest, then people refused that they could not arrest because they were harassing that gentleman. So where does it put us?
Yeah, the message these people are sending us is that there are some people who doesn't believe in rule of law, and that some more people are superior than others. And I'm telling them that if the trend continues, it will reach a time that even a common mwananchi like me, I will be summoned, and chances are it will reach a time I will not obey those court orders because they are setting precedents of what should happen or what should not happen. So I'm telling them that is very dangerous, as you cannot preach water and you are taking wine, or taking wine as you preach water. It can't happen that way.
All right, let's sample what we have here quick first because we are running out of time. Now, this is the kind of unity we need to change the status quo. I'm not sure if this is part of our conversation. It's very open. Now, let's get another one. Skeptical, another alliance doomed to fail. Kenyan politics is all about personal gain. This is Elvis Dosso. Now, these leaders have been in politics for years. What new ideas can they offer? All right, this Stephen Ouma says, watching from Kaide Junction. Instead of forming political alliances, they should focus on delivering for the people. That is Ada Achieng. All right. Now, the police boss skipping court summons sets a bad example for accountability in public service. Okay, if a police boss can ignore court summons, what about ordinary citizens? This is just what we were talking about there. All right, now the other one here by the name Innocentia King says justice must be served. No one is above the law. All right. Now, there's also one here about the conversation we had earlier about the IEBC selection panels. She says political interference will still be a problem regardless of who is selected. Thank you so much for your feedback. There are many, we cannot sample all of them in the interest of time. This morning, our guest has been Stephen Oluoch on my left. Thank you so much for making time. And on my right has been Abdul Ramathan. Thank you so much for making time. We appreciate it. See you tomorrow, same time, same place. Until then, do have a beautiful Tuesday. Thank you so much for keeping us company. I have been your host, Alfonsoh Ouma.
Thank you.